Peter left Chester. He stopped in this most idyllic place, very green, beautiful, but he can't go on because he has engine problems again. We're expecting an engineer out today, so let's see what they can achieve with the boat. So Peter, what are you actually doing here?
Right.
And why?
Well, we're just getting ready for the engineer now, so I'm just going to lift the deck boards and tidy them away. Hopefully out of this rain that's just starting again. So yes, we've had another core plug failure. So yes, it started off as it could have been an airlock. It was just I travelled for 2 or 3 hours and then stopped for a while, and when I started off again, within 400 meters the temperature went straight into the red. So I stopped and let it cool down enough to open the top up cap, put a little water in, heard it gurgling through, and then it was fine. I started the engine and I could see the temperature gauge dropping while the engine was running. So I could see that the coolant was flowing all the way around the system properly, and carried on for a few more hours. And then the next day the same thing happened again when I set off, and I fixed it again, and then I got to where I am now and it was overheating when I was in the lock. So I've just pulled over by Tilstone Lock, and River and Canal Rescue said yes, it looks like water's leaking out around the core plug. And their contracting division gave me a quote, but it was very expensive. So I've been phoning around local engineers, talking to local companies, and eventually got the Nantwich Canal Centre, and they're coming up to. The idea is they're going to come up and see if they can just get me going, because we're only about 6.5 miles away from the canal centre. So if we can get it going, then I can get down there and then they can do a proper repair.
Okay.
And also maybe change the antifreeze.
Why do you need to change the antifreeze?
Yeah, there's basically 2 kinds that you can buy, blue and pink, if you go just by what's on the shelf, or if you're being technical, there's monoethylene glycol, MEG, which is the blue, and there's OAT, and I can't remember what that stands for now, but anyway, that's the red stuff, which is supposed to last longer, and I put it in the engine here 2 or 3 years ago. The Nantwich people, when we were talking about repairs and that, we mentioned that, and he said, oh, we don't recommend using that for boat engines, because it can cause corrosion, which is interesting because possibly we've got a corroded core plug. But I then checked the Beta Marine website, and sure enough, they don't say anything bad about the red stuff, but they do say they recommended the blue, the
MEG.
The MEG, yes. So quite possibly when we get down there, as what's in there now is a bit low, and it's very weak mixture because I've just been putting water in. So this might be a time to change back to the blue.
Okay.
Which is what's in the radiators anyway. You know, the radiator system, which has a header tank in the engine room, that's blue, and I've not changed that.
Okay.
Or I've not changed it to red. So at least it'll be all the same then. Yes, so they should be here any time now. So I'm just going to lift this board, try and get it out of the way. I don't want it lying on the bank, the deck boards. I know they're marine timber and that, but they're easier to handle if they don't get wet through.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can stow them inside the boat.
Right, I'll leave you to get on with it then.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Well, that was easier than I expected. Can't often say that about boat jobs. So, I've still got a little bit of water stroke coolant in the bilge.
Okay.
There's 3 sections and the 2 outer sections are completely dry. The middle section has got some water in it. So whilst I'm waiting, now my little picker is working again now I've glued it. And so I can use some disposable nappies to soak it up.
Shall I get the kettle on?
I was just about to come to that, but that would be really good, yes.
I'll be on tea duty then. Okay.
Right, so I've got my... I thought I'd run out, but I've got another pack.
Explain why you use nappies.
Well, I've got a hand pump to pump out the bilge, which works really well. It's quite a big thing. It's about that long, but that will only take you down to a depth of about 4 or 5 millimeters because it pulls the water up from the bottom. I took a little bit more out using old milk cartons and just scraping them along the bottom, scooping up. But the last part I just use disposable nappies, drop them in and they soak it up, and then I haul them out and drop them into a plastic bag, and the next time we pass a rubbish facility I can throw them out.
They're very absorbent and that's why you use them.
Yeah, and one of the other advantages is that if there's anything in the bottom there that you don't really want to throw onto in the canal or onto the plants on the canal side, then you're not, because they're being soaked up, held inside the crystals inside the nappy, or gel. It's kind of a gel, and then is safely wrapped up in plastic. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'll let you get on with that one too, and I'll put the kettle on.
Drop the bag. Probably going to use a good number of these.
Yeah. You seem to have a broken tail feather, which is probably why you can't fly anywhere. So we've had a few fun and games this morning. The engineers were coming and there was no parking for them, so I moved my car. They've parked there. I have reparked at the staircase lock, which is just behind me down there, near the Anglo-Welsh yard. And now I am walking back in that direction behind me to get back to the boat. If they can get the boat moving, Peter's going to come this way and I can pick up my car then. I spoke to a very nice lady who gave me directions to the parking space that I've got currently. So thank you to her. I don't know your name, but thank you. And now I'm walking back to the boat with my cup of tea that I made just before I left. So we'll see how it all pans out. It's so good to be back on the towpath and by the canals. It's been such a long time. Missing Flan though. It's very strange to get back onto the boat without him there. But life goes on, and hopefully in the not too distant future I will be Peter's companion on the boat instead of Flan. Hopefully I'll match up to the companionship that Flan gave Peter. Let's hope so anyway. That's the plan. out of breath. And here we are back at the boat. Well, the engine has been patched together enough so that we can get on the move and get it to the boatyard for proper repairs. A happier looking Peter now. And that's where he's been moored for the last few days.
Oh, 4 days.
The last 4 days, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
well, yeah, 4 days. Oh, what was that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a microwave just finished.
Oh, yes.
That's what it was then.
You heard a ping.
No, did you hear the engine note change?
Oh.
It went faster because the
Okay.
load of the microwave was off.
Right, I'm going to get my tea then. Stock is really leaking at this gate. Really tricky. Hopefully we can get through it okay though. Peter's made it through Bunbury locks. I've walked back to the car. The locks were really quite hard to turn. Well, no, the lock gates were a bit difficult and the paddles were a bit difficult to turn. So I'm now heading to Calverley Mill Cafe, which is near the boatyard where Peter's getting the rest of the work done. The men today just got it mobile, and hopefully they'll be able to sort out the boat properly. So I'm on the move. Oh.
So here we are at the Nantwich Canal Centre, which is a little basin just outside Nantwich, and the temporary repair that the engineer did in situ at Tilstone Lock has held, so we were able to cruise down here all right. We arrived last night, and then this morning we were told that it's going to take a week to get the parts we need to fix the engine properly, because this is a temporary repair, and they've offered us a week's mooring here whilst we wait. And with a bit of moving around of plans, I can do that. So we're now tied up just outside the cafe, and there's water available. I can replace a gas cylinder that needs to be renewed, and do a few other odd jobs, I guess. This is a reasonable sort of place. There's a laundrette here as well, which I can use. So just make the most of it, I suppose, and I should just be able to get to my appointment in Warrington, although I may have to go by public transport. It's going to be a bit touch and go. So that's where we are again.